just woke up. And instead of waiting on a good day, waiting around through ups and downs, waiting on something to happen, I just said,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The House of Consensia presents the Red and White Ball Dress Your Best Valentine's Day Dance, Wednesday, February 12th next week from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., grades kindergarten through 4th grade. All tickets are on sale right now for $5. You can purchase your tickets at the box office in front of the cafeteria. The SWAT Club proudly presents Valentine's Day glow-in-the-dark bracelets. Order before school in the gym next week. Bracelets are $1 each, or buy 5 and get 1 free. Come find SWAT before school in the gym next week. It's National School Counseling Week. This week, take time to tell Miss Linder and Miss Williams how much you appreciate all they have done to help you.
Good morning, Holly Hill Knights. This is Miss Williams, one of your school counselors here at Holly Hill School, and this week we are celebrating National School Counseling Week. Did you know that your attitude can help you take on challenges and obstacles you face in your daily life? We all know people who are grumpy or ungrateful or just negative. They find it easier to complain about their obstacles than to work through them. But as Michael Jordan once said, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Babe Ruth, one of the greatest baseball players ever, had a similar attitude. Every strike, he said, brings me closer to the next home run. And he hit 714 home runs, a record that stood for almost 40 years. Take a moment and think about your attitude. Do you approach things positively or negatively? Do you reach out to others for support? Please feel free to reach out to your school counselors. We are here to support you. Thank you. Make it a great day and go Knights.
We are celebrating Black History Month. Kindergartners through 2nd graders, you can participate in a Black History portrait writing contest. Winners will earn 300 points for their house. Please see your teachers for more information. 3rd through 8th graders, we are having a Black History trifold board contest. You will do a presentation on the life of someone in Black history that has influenced them. Again, 300 points for the winners. All projects are due February 21st.
Throughout Mae Jemison's life, excelling in one area has never been enough. Sure, we know her as the first African-American woman in space, but there's so much more that makes Jemison extraordinary. Mae grew up in Chicago, where like most kids, she dreamed of being a fashion designer, archaeologist, or astronaut. She decided at an early age she would go to space. Astronauts back then were exclusively white and male, but those aboard the USS Enterprise on Star Trek were different, particularly Lieutenant Uhura, and that allowed young Mae to see someone that looked like her in space. Even as a kid, she was extraordinary. She graduated high school at 16 and went to Stanford. She double majored in chemical engineering and African and Afro-American studies. During her junior year, she had to decide if she should be a doctor or a professional dancer, which were both legitimate options for her. She chose medical school and even worked in a Cambodian refugee camp in Thailand. And she didn't just become a doctor. In 1983, she became the Area Peace Corps medical officer for Sierra Leone and Liberia in West Africa. She managed all the healthcare for the Peace Corps, wrote manuals for self-care, researched rabies with the CDC, and was in charge of medical care for the U.S. Embassy. And she was 27. After 2 years there, she returned to America and began working as a general practitioner in Los Angeles and took graduate-level engineering classes at the same time. And even then, she was still like, I could do more. So she applied to become an astronaut in 1985 and wasn't deterred when the Challenger exploded the next year. She reapplied and was selected out of 2,000 applicants to train to be an astronaut.
And liftoff of Space Shuttle Endeavour.
September 12, 1992, Jemison made history when she took off aboard the Endeavour for 8 days in space. As a science mission specialist, her job was to conduct experiments on the crew on motion sickness and bone cells. After her big dream was realized, Jemison decided to take it easy. As an environmental studies professor at Dartmouth College, starting an educational nonprofit, a science camp, and serving as principal for 100 Year Starship, an initiative working to travel beyond our solar system in the next 100 years. Oh, and in 1993, she guest starred on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Jemison has gone back and forth on this whole role model thing. She didn't really want to be the poster child for black female astronauts, but she did want young girls, and the old white men that would hire them someday, to see that your race or gender doesn't limit you.